Hey everybody, Tom Barnes, Stories from the 78. This one's fantastic. A US debut, Steve McCurry, his icon exhibit here in Chicago. I have David to tell me all about it. How are you?
Very good. Thanks for having me, Tom. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. This is something fantastic. Over 80 large scale like photos for this iconic exhibit, hence the name of the exhibit. But give
Yeah,
folks a rundown of what they should expect with this.
absolutely. Well, it's definitely something you'll want to see in person. The photos are really striking. You'll see some familiar images that you may not even know that you know. One of them is a very famous one, and that's on a lot of the cover artwork. It's 1984 was the year it was shot. It's called Afghan Girl.
Hmm.
And he's really well known for this photograph and many others. It was a refugee, and basically it was the cover of National Geographic back in 1984, and some would argue it's the most famous photograph in history. I'm just humbled to have been a piece of the big puzzle of the teams that brought it all together. My company, Fever Events, is part of the organizing companies, but we also worked with some really great partners to bring this all together to bring it to the US for the first time, including a company called Sold Out, based in Milan, that works with a lot of internationally renowned photography gurus, as well as another company called Sudest 57. And together with Fever and then the Loyola University Museum of Art, we were super excited to be presenting this portfolio of art. I mean, it's really, it's something that I am humbled and proud to be able to present as an experience to people with our team.
Yeah, I imagine just getting the art pieces together and then deciding on which ones should be part of the exhibit had to be a tall task.
Really tall task. Typically, this exhibit at times is run with over 100 photographs. This version's a little bit more intimate, made it even more difficult. It fits so perfectly in that Loyola space, though. And it really touches across his career. So, you're going to see different parts of the human experience through his work. Some are tragic, some are uplifting. It's really a mix, and so it's an emotional journey to step through the gallery space. And I had the privilege to be there with Steve last week. Steve made an on-site appearance and had a chance to do some signing of books and meet some people, and he was just super gracious for the whole visit and reiterated how excited he was to share this with the people of Chicago.
Did he have a specific one that maybe not his favorite, because that's never a thing, right? You can't pick out a favorite with stuff like that. But was there one that was that spoke to more of a career arc where something stood out a little bit more than another?
Well, he's most famous for Afghan Girl, and when he was doing some of the television segments in the gallery, like they by default want to take him to that photo. But he's also a very just a humble person, and if you ask Steve like what his favorite photograph is, he'd probably take out his iPhone and show you a picture of his kid, and that's like the type of guy he is. And sometimes you don't always have an opportunity to like experience that and translate that across somebody's work, but having had a chance to spend just that day with him, I can tell you, like, his lens for the world is such a unique perspective, and it's so shaped on wanting to tell stories of the human experience. That probably would be his honest answer, because in his experience it's so meaningful to have that private snapshot of the moment in time. And when you walk through the gallery space, he has so many interesting stories about all these different photographs. We have an audio tour, with QR code accessible, where you can listen to over 40 different stories from his experience on like different photographs and what it meant to him at different times, and what he saw in what he, even like things like what equipment he used for some of us photo nerds like me. It just has a mix of those things. So I think to best answer that question, out of the gallery collection, people can kind of explore, and he's going to have. It's like picking your favorite kid, right? It's kind of hard to do,
Yeah.
but there's definitely elements of all of them, I think, that really that really touch upon. I mean, he says in his backlog of collection, he's got millions of photographs from his career, obviously. So to boil it down to an exhibition of 80, I mean, it's going to be tough to pick a favorite.
Yeah, I imagine though, seeing some of the techniques he used, or even some of the things that he used to make this, like you were just speaking of, to nerd out over that. I mean, that's pretty priceless for people who really love, you know, this form of expression.
Absolutely, and we had a really engaging Q&A with Steve. We had a chance at the university last week, and some of the questions that came out were very much along those lines, just like wanting to know what film he used, or like he got the last roll of Kodak chroma film like that they ever made, and he took a whole journey of like how he shot different photos. Like one of them was the Kodachrome shot in the Icons exhibit is a shot of Robert De Niro of all people in like
Hmm.
Tribeca. It's like very striking, and it's like a it's a very much like a contrast from some of the other stuff in the collection. But when you kind of peel the onion, and he was trying to make a statement about like things changing over time, and like so he went out of his way to shoot like people that were icons in the past, but or other like buildings maybe going like being decommissioned, and places that were changing so quickly, and like so he finds a way, I think, with his works across. I mean, we have a beautiful gift shop, for example, that has a lot of his like books and extended forms that are like beyond what's in the exhibition.
Mhm.
But he really finds a way to tell stories, and I mean, his work really speaks for itself. But it's like it's the storytelling that you see without even the audio journeys, just like that. That experience with this portfolio is something really special, and worth the trip.
Absolutely. And that trip and that experience that Loyola University's Museum of Art now through March, and people should keep updated on if that's extended or whatnot at the
Right.
website, and tickets and all that stuff. So, what's the website for all that information if they want to follow along?
Yeah, well, they can go on the main Fever website at feverup.com. It's pretty easy, but we also have our Steve McCurry icons sites, and if you just Google, you'll pretty much find a lot of stuff on this. We're really excited, though, to be presenting this to the public, and yeah, we welcome that. There's lots of information online on Instagram, Facebook, all sorts as well.
David, thank you so much for taking time to chat with me about this. I can't wait to and check out this space. Thank you so much.
All right, Tom, can't wait to have you out there.